Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today the question we are answering is divorce allowed in the Bible? So the answer is no. And the reason why I say that is because the concept of divorce was not what God had in mind when instituting marriage. If we read Genesis chapter 2 verse 24, we can see what God's actual mind was concerning his institution, that is marriage. He said, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." Period. There was no room for any kind of separation. The idea of separation or divorce began when Moses said in Deuteronomy chapter 24 verses 1 to 4 that if a man wasn't satisfied with his wife, he could send her away, and then she would marry another man. However, Jesus enlightened us in Matthew chapter 19 verses 3 to 9 that Moses did that under pressure from the stubbornness of Israel. It didn't mean that that was actually a good thing to do. Let's consider the account. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, "Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?" And he answered and said unto them, "Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh? Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder." They say unto him, "Why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement, and to put her away?" He saith unto them, "Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away, doth commit adultery." So we can see Jesus made it very clear that divorce is not a spiritually valid ground to close a marriage and then start another one somewhere else. And plus, when we use God's mind to marry, and what I mean by God's mind is his views on submission, right? Leadership, the role of a man and a woman in marriage. And we find these in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 22 to 29, Colossians chapter 3, verses 18 to 24, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3, and so on, right? When we think based on those verses, then we will be setting up our lives for a stable marriage. I mean, look at the relationship Jesus had with his disciples. It was smooth and stable because the disciples trusted in their leader, Jesus Christ, and Jesus, in turn, led them like a shepherd. But note, that relationship was built on the submission of the disciples, according to the will of God, according to John chapter 14, verse 15, and chapter 15, verses 14 and 20. If the disciples, on the other hand, thought that they were equal with Jesus, then the relationship would have certainly failed. Therefore, divorce is not allowed in the scriptures, because divorce is showing God that we are not capable of managing difficulty by using his principles to solve our problems. Plus, when we divorce, we're really just telling God, you know what, I don't care. I'll do things my own way, and I'll do what I need to do to be happy. And God doesn't really like that kind of disrespect. And plus, we shouldn't mix civil laws with spiritual laws. Yes, in many countries you can divorce legally and separate legally and no one will ask you any questions. But that doesn't mean that spiritually it's also the same. As we've discussed in this video, from a spiritual standpoint, divorce is banned by God Almighty. So, I think that's where I'm going to stop on answering that question. Is divorce allowed in the Bible? We've answered the question. The answer is no, it is not. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you click the like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell so that when we come back with our next video, you will be notified. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.